Breaking right now, even Netflix have turned on Harry and Meghan. They have been roasted at the streaming network's official bash by the comedian.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for notifications so you never miss the latest updates. Today we've got a major Hollywood shakeup to talk about. Netflix, the streaming giant, has just made a shocking move that could signal the end of Meghan Markle's Hollywood dreams.
John Mulaney. But this is really significant, actually, because it does suggest that even the streaming company that backed them for success, that paid them $100 million, knows that they are dealing with the biggest flop in entertainment. Let me take you through this story right now. So, Deadline reports Prince Harry and Meghan Markle weren't present at Netflix's annual programming event, but the royal pair did catch some strays. John Mulaney, who is returning to the streamer with a new live variety talk show, as in he's their big new star, took aim at the Montecito residence as he was promoting the show. Not since Harry and Meghan has Netflix given more money to someone without a specific plan, he joked. Now, the Daily Mail had a lot more on what went on during this event, and it really is worth looking into it. So they say there were clips of colourful documentaries starring Victoria Beckham, Eddie Murphy, and former President Barack Obama. They were featured prominently. Yet one of Netflix's best-known collaborators, the Duchess of Sussex, was barely mentioned at the event, even though her lifestyle show With Love Meghan is due to be released in March. Worse, in another sign that America is falling out of love with the royal couple, a leading comedian at the event made Harry and Meghan's filmmaking record the butt of a dismissive joke. Now, they then say that the audience, and this was a very Hollywood audience, a Netflix audience, responded with snickering and a few woes. A source in the auditorium, who was obviously in the entertainment industry, told the Daily Mail, "It was shocking to me that Netflix would seemingly allow Harry and Meghan to be ridiculed at such a prestigious event. The head honchos were all there. And how strange that a show by the couple who signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix barely featured, apart from one brief clip in a montage. Even filmmaker Tyler Perry, the guy who loaned his LA house to the Sussex after Megxit, got a mention. It really felt like Netflix didn't give a damn."
And no, it's not just about her latest show. In fact, at Netflix's exclusive programming event, something huge went down. Meghan and Harry were practically ignored, while another famous figure completely stole the spotlight. Stay tuned because you won't believe what happened next. So, let's start with the event that's been making waves in Hollywood.
Royal News Network posted on this. Ouch. This is a really fun experiment. Not since Harry and Meghan has Netflix given more money to someone without a specific plan. Harry and Meghan, the butt of jokes at Netflix event where Meghan's new show hardly featured. So Angela Levin, our royal mastermind, Prince Harry's biographer, surely this is the moment for Harry and Meghan to press the panic button, because whether they want to believe it or not, Netflix has turned.
Yeah, they need two panic buttons, one for Netflix and one if Trump decides that he will want the documents opened and to see if Harry lied about his...
Very good point. Well, look, let's come to that shortly because there's new developments on that. But let's tackle the Netflix thing first, because remember, Netflix is paying them more money than anyone else.
Yes, well, they've just given them money, and I think Meghan is so demanding, and I mean, you have to think that she's very, very powerful like that she goes on, and I know she's doing that at the moment, that she demands more money, and she demands that they help her do her best. But really, I think she just goes ahead without too much thinking and certainly not much listening. And if something's wrong, she just screams and shouts, but she won't let this go, because this could possibly be the last thing that they do for Netflix, because in September, it might be it is the end of this agreement, and it just depends whether they would be interested in doing another one. I mean, because they're no longer popular at all, really, it's gone absolutely through the drains. They might not want to do it.
And the thing is, Meghan tried everything, didn't she? She even befriended Ted Sarandos, the boss of Netflix. And I think
Yeah.
she did so in a very, how do I put it?
Sexy.
Manipulative manner, Angela, because the way that she befriended Ted Sarandos was by really tapping into the fact that he has a mixed race partner. So it was like, oh, there's something similar about us. Let's go to the Beyonce concert together. But I think even Ted Sarandos now knows that Harry and Meghan are deeply unpopular. And he has conceded in the past that really the only people who watch their show are watching to poke fun or laugh or hate them, which is exactly the way that Harry and Meghan were used at the Netflix event. And I mean, how embarrassing for them that Victoria Beckham, a woman who they consider below them, a woman who they fell out with, Angela Levin, because they believed that Victoria Beckham was leaking stories about them to the British media, which is so ironic given that that's all Harry and Meghan do, leak stories to the American media. How embarrassing for them that at this Netflix programming event, her documentary series was considered far, far more appealing to journalists and to advertisers and to the influential figures in the room than Meghan's series.
Netflix's annual programming showcase is a big deal. This is where they promote their upcoming shows, drop trailers, and hype up their biggest projects. You'd think, with the massive deal Netflix signed with Meghan and Harry, they'd be getting prime attention, right?
Well, the thing is, I think that you can feel that Meghan is phony and it's really all about her. Whereas the others, you can feel that it's very alive, and you can feel the attitude they are towards each other, good, better, not so good, and you can feel all the experiences that they're talking about, which you can't really do with Meghan. I think she can't. She wants to be so good and the best of anyone in the whole world that she doesn't really allow herself to be real in those circumstances. It's all, this is what I'm doing, and now I've got a friend here and a giggle. It's just not well planned, really, and it doesn't go smoothly. Like it's like you're having an awkward chat with someone, and you don't quite know what to say next, but you keep on trying. And it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult to enjoy something like that.
It is incredibly difficult. And the thing is, if they had any belief in this With Love Meghan, this was the moment to promote it. It's had all of this negative publicity because it's had to be pushed back because of the LA wildfires disaster tourism undertaken by Harry and Meghan. So this was an opportunity to try and turn it around. But just like with Polo, Angela, Netflix is saying, no, we're too embarrassed. I mean, they didn't promote Polo really at all. And now they're doing the same thing with this.
Well, I think this, when they had the initial thing of just showing you what it might be like, it was so terrible, and people found it so phony and embarrassing that they would think, well, we really can't do that again. I think with Polo, I mean, Meghan didn't want much money spent on publicity because she wanted it saved for hers. And so Harry, of course, agreed, and there wasn't much in it. But I remember you and I watching it, it was the most boring thing you could ever find. Just men hitting balls and women being very sort of old-fashioned women who did exactly what they were told and were of a type. It was just incredibly boring. It wasn't exciting. You hitting something this way and that way, and that's it. I mean, if you really, really like it, that's different, but you didn't get that impression. So I think that was the problem with that.
Exactly. And the big moment was meant to be the launch of With Love Meghan. But the problem is the trailer comes out, it's trashed all over the American media, it's trashed all over social media. It becomes Netflix's most disliked post ever on YouTube with hundreds of thousands of people saying, oh my goodness, we don't want this. And the thing is, you know that Harry and Meghan, you know this for a fact, Angela, we've reported on it for years, they have such thin skin. So they will be absolutely furious about this joke being made at their expense. They don't take things like this in good humor.
Well, not exactly. Meghan's show with Love Meghan was barely even mentioned. Instead, the focus shifted to documentaries from other stars, none more prominent than Victoria Beckham. So what do you think about all this? Is Netflix making a huge mistake by turning its back on Harry and Meghan?
No, absolutely not. No, I mean, I think that's why we haven't seen Meghan and haven't, for quite a long time now, because she just hides. But she does get old friends or some people, I don't know if they're paid or not, to say how wonderful she is. And of course, Harry's been telling her how she's absolutely wonderful about this, because that's his job, isn't it? But she doesn't really believe it deep down. I think a lot of her behavior is because she is unstable about her confidence. She's not confident, and it's hard for her to accept anything that's not very simply wonderful. The rest of it, and she doesn't listen because she doesn't feel that they're right. She can't feel that they can see through some of the things she's doing. So she gets in a real state, and then up comes an idea, often not very good, or nearly always not very good, and she's happy again, very busy. I mean, how you can say, "Come into my home and here is my garden," when it's not yours at all, it's somebody who lives just down the road, is a very sort of strange thing to do, isn't it?
I know she didn't even bother to film it at her own house. And of course now, lots of desperate reshooting going on because they have to try and pretend that this series was always going to be a celebration of Southern California, to try and cash in on the fact that these wildfires have taken place, which is just so awkward because actually Californians are completely disgusted with Harry and Meghan because they were trampling over people's houses that could have contained dead bodies. So look, I think the whole thing is a disaster. I have reported for a long time now, Angela, that there is no way Netflix is going to renew the deal. Certainly not at any type of the figures that Harry and Meghan might be expecting, but I think probably at this point at all. Because remember, everything has been a disaster. We were meant to get Pearl, the animated series based on Meghan's life. It was axed altogether. There is no success here. And the thing is, yes, Netflix is still atop the streaming services, but the streaming war, Angela, means they cannot keep throwing good money after bad. They can't do that. It's too important for them to achieve hits. So, for example, they're prepared to give lots of money to Shondaland and Shonda Rhimes, but that's only because Bridgerton was the #1 show on Netflix last year. Harry and Meghan are not even in that top list anymore. There's nothing. None of their shows are in there, so they're not going to be receiving this money. But I think for them, their pride is what is going to be so hurt by the fact that they are now a laughingstock in Netflix.
Yes.
Or are they simply cutting their losses with two stars who just aren't delivering? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. We've got more juicy Hollywood news coming your way, so stay tuned. Until next time, thanks for watching.